Now, it's kind of bad because every time I do it, I'm like, I feel like I'm chopping down a tree.
Yeah.
You know, like the amount of energy that this consumes. Like every time I put in a prompt, someone in Ashburn is like hearing a buzzing, right? Because of all of the like computer juice that you have to do to like do all these videos. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Shawn and Matt Show. My name is Matt, that is Shawn, and welcome to our show. Shawn, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about what everyone is talking about. That is AI. That is computer-generated images, photos, words, realities. All of that fun stuff has just infiltrated the real estate world. Wednesday, October 29th. Shawn, how is your Wednesday treating you?
Wednesday's good. Market is a little pulled back, slow. You know, we have the
Which market? Because you were talking about the stock market. That hasn't pulled back.
Stock market's doing great, baby.
That's bumping.
It's bumping. It's going great. It's because of trade talks, I believe. And you know, this is the end of this is when all the numbers come out for corporate. So we're doing good on that side. On the real estate side, locally, I feel like it's pretty damn slow.
Do you think that because the stock market is going so well, that people are just looking and saying, all right, well, my money can keep increasing by 7%, or I could just throw it into a illiquid asset like a house, and maybe I just want to hold off on doing that for now?
Yeah, there's probably a lot of that going on. As you watch your income or your assets rise as far as investments, it's an amazing thing to watch. And do you want to get rid of that when it's going so well? But at the same time, there's a lot of people that are in there that are saying, like, this is my time. I have the money now. It's back in my account. It's higher than it's ever been. I'm going to take this and I'm going to buy real estate because right now is a slower time that I'm seeing in this area locally because the government shutdown's slowing everything down and our showings are down. Everything's down. I think if you talk to most real estate agents, they're going to say they're down as well. It's not your typical fall market. It's a slower fall market. But you know what? The Fed's meeting today. There's a strong possibility that they could drop a quarter point. That'll spur some activity. And at some point, this government shutdown is going to end. And people are going to flood back into the market. And I was doing an open house this past weekend, and the buyers were just coming through, and I was like, listen, you have a time right now. I think your best time of the year, and naturally it's going to go into the winter market, so it's going to slow down there too. But this could spur people coming back into the market during that time that are putting it off right now. So I really believe you have an opportunity in the next couple of weeks until that government starts up again to buy and not have the competition that you normally would. One caveat to that, I'll say, yesterday, 3 showings scheduled on my listing in Burke, Virginia, on a townhouse within 3 hours. I was like, wait, I had to call my client. I'm like, this is not the same showing that you just, we were talking about. So these are 3 different showings. So that was a good spur of activity. And then I got another showing this morning on my other listing. So something's starting to happen. It's starting to come back. So I think people are starting to get a little bit more confident and saying like, all right, this government shutdown's got to be coming to an end soon. And I believe that interest rates will come down by 0.25%.
0.25%. So they're at what, 6.1 right now? 0.25%. So what, 5.75?
Well, no, this is what people misjudge. It's the Fed rate. The Fed rate's going to come down. That doesn't mean that mortgage rates are going to come down. And honestly, the emails I was getting from mortgage companies this morning was like, there's a high probability that the interest rate is going to be lowered by the Fed. What that means is they are banking on the fact that it's already come down, or that it's coming down. So they're already baking that into the rates. So if we don't see a drop today or tomorrow, or whenever it's going to be, we're going to see interest rates jump up. So I think that wherever they are right now, that's baked in for 0.25 point.
Okay. Yeah, because every time the Fed meets, the astute mortgage lenders and real estate agents are like, yeah, it's already baked in. They've already, it's already been decided. And then they announce and something happens or something doesn't happen. But oftentimes these Fed meetings are just like a whole lot of nothing. It's just like a nothing burger for me because the smarter minds already know what's happening. And it's usually not enough of a pendulum swing to get the buyer off the couch. Yeah. Because like what mortgage percent would stimulate this market? Because right now we're at 6.1. It's not 6.0. It's not 5.9. Maybe it's 5.8, maybe 5.75. We start to have a conversation. But because they go down from 6.1 to 5.9. Don't tell me it's psychological. You know, I think, yeah, it's psychological, but people's payments are still pretty high. So I think not much is going to happen in terms of buyer activity because of a Fed, market rate, unless we're closer to like 5.6, 5.7. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, agreed. We got to get to that mid-5 mark, and if the Fed would say half a point right now, bam, that would spur some activity. I think if they went above what they were considering at a quarter point and went to a half point, I think that would probably do it. We might get into that mid-5s or 5 point something range, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think it's going to be conservative in the 0.25%. But if they do it at all, we'll see. But hopefully, I wish they would just get it over with and say, bam, here it is, and that would be awesome. But on the flip side of that, if you've got cash and you're sitting parked cash in an account that, last year was getting 6%, 5.5%, now it's getting 3%. So that's the difference, is your cash accounts now are not paying out as much because the interest rates are lower. And the inverse, now you can get a mortgage for a lot less. So anyways, that's kind of where we are on that side of things. Now let's talk AI. How are you using AI, Matt?
Look at you leading the conversation.
See that? I had to I know you were busy, so I was like, all right, let's pull this back in.
Shawn just sees me over here picking my nose, clicking around, just like staring off into space while Shawn goes through his monologue. So AI, I mean, there's a lot of different ways we can take this. I mean, my first thought is Sora 2. Do you know this?
No,
app?
I don't. Yeah, explain it to
It's the app where you put it's going to sound like terrible from like a privacy standpoint, because probably it is. You take a video of yourself and then you upload it to Sora 2. I don't know who owns it. They're all owned by the same. It's like Google or ChatGPT. Yeah. One of them owns it. So you take a video of yourself, you 5-second video, and then it takes like a minute, and then you can give it any sort of prompt, and it puts you in that video.
That's amazing. So
it could say, show me riding a dragon over Key Bridge into Georgetown, giving a weather report in a tsunami, right? And then maybe 5 minutes later, it'll spit out that video.
Yeah.
Now, it's kind of bad because every time I do it, I'm like, I feel like I'm chopping down a tree. Yeah. Like the amount of energy that this consumes. Like every time I put in a prompt, someone in Ashburn is like hearing a buzzing, right? Because of all of the like computer juice that you have to do to like do all these videos. So it's, pretty awful from that standpoint. I don't quite know how to best use it. So kind of used it a lot the first day and then have kind of held back on it. But how am I using AI? I mean, right now it's all text, right? Like the ability to word vomit into ChatGPT and then have it spit back some sort of legible either email response with empathy or a listing description, with stories, with a story that's being told. The number one way I'm using AI is definitely text driven. And then I guess the second way is uploading 1 million condo docs into AI and having it redefine the darn pet policy, or if I can move in on a Saturday. Yeah. And we'll get into like the videos and pictures, but I'll stop there and say those are the best ways that I'm using AI.
Yes. All right. Let me go to your first thing. Matt sent me a video last week of he was using that thing. Right. And he was like, show me in a Steelers shirt, because I'm a Steelers fan. Steelers shirt.
Well, hold on. I said show me in a Bengals jersey, because I am not a Steelers fan.
Were you in a Bengals jersey?
I had a Bengals jersey on. I was like, show me in a Bengals jersey at a Steelers bar in Ocean City, because they're all Steelers bar in Ocean City.
I was in Ocean City at a Steelers bar.
Like watching the Steelers game and then have a Bengal cat like walk through the water.
Yeah.
And that's
and so he was like on the beach, like in a Bengal shirt. It was amazing. And it was, Matt's likeness.
If you're watching on YouTube, we'll throw up the silly video.
Yeah, so it's amazing what AI can do in those, but you're right. It's like how much energy. First of all, think about the energy use, right? Do you remember if you're downloading something right now and it's a couple megs, right? How long does it take to download? Sometimes if your internet's slow, you're like, why is this taking so long? Back in the day, if you had a meg file, it'd be like forever to download.
You go and do the groceries and then come back.
So now these things are creating gig. I mean, that's a big ask for that thing to do. And how much energy is that taking? It's pretty crazy when you think about it. And how many people are doing it at exactly the same time? It's insane. So on that regard, it's pretty amazing what this can do. As for real estate, yes, my number one thing is text. And I use it, I forgot my numbers upstairs, but I was going through all of my numbers on what I've done and how I've used AI in each listing. And, of 28 listings that I've had this year, I've used text prompts every time. Yeah. Every single time. And that is what I will do is I'll write a brief summary of the property. I always write something and in my own words. And then I take that, I copy and I paste it into ChatGPT, typically ChatGPT, and I just say, make this sound better. That's it. Make this sound better, : bam. And it comes out amazingly, like so good, right? But you have to go through this, and what you have to do is change some of the words because or just tell it,
you have to
don't use.
You have to redo it. You have to, after it spits it out, you have to go through line by line, because like there's some where you're like, no human would ever say these words in this order. But it does give a main frame, like a guidance of how it should flow, and then you go back and edit it.
Yeah. So I do it every single time, and you'll also have to take out. They'll put like dashes where there shouldn't be dashes.
The M dash.
You have to take out the dashes.
Out the M dash.
It's a giveaway that it's AI generated every time. So take out the dashes, re-edit it to make it sound a little bit more like you. You don't have to use AI over and over and over again. You can read it and see if it sounds good, and then paste it in. And man, look at any of my descriptions. They're all AI driven, but it's with a human element backing. And that's, I think, the key. You have to keep the human element in there. If you're just saying, hey, write me a description and then you post it, it's not going to sound that great. It's going to sound good, but it's going to sound AI driven. And then the second way is on my emails. Not my personal emails. There has to be a personal touch to these things. If you're emailing clients or emailing leads or things like that, we all know when you're getting a lead and you automatic response. I mean, those automatic responses back in the day were horrible. And like, are people really going to respond to that nowadays? No, like you have to have a human element in this, I believe, to really make an impact. But we send out a mailer, an email blast every Thursday or Friday, Matt and I, differently. He writes one, I write one, but we write it on what we talk about in this show. We put that show in the email as well with our listings. But that email basic write-up is, again, filtered through AI and making it sound better. And that's really what it is. It's like it can make you sound so much better in that quick, you know? So those are the main ways that I'm using it, and I use it every day.
Because we're on the forefront, because that's just text, but obviously AI is so much more than that. Let's see, there's an article from Wired. Real estate is entering its AI slop era. Fake video walkthroughs, magically expanding lofts, stare hallucinations are just some of the new AI-generated features house hunters come across. So obviously, I don't think anyone's going to get upset if you can tell that it's AI text. You'll probably just like roll your eyes and say, this is dumb. No human would write this. They got lazy. Boo this agent. But when you start to see the grass being all green, not a bare spot. I mean, I guess that's Photoshop, if you want to call it AI. Where I start drawing the line is when it's not a realistic representation of the property. 100%. So, Shawn, you actually shared 2 examples, if you're watching on YouTube, from recent, it's Photoshop, but we'll just lump it into AI, of 2 properties where you used artificial intelligence to edit photos. Why don't you walk me through? The first one's pretty standard. You removed a temporary real estate signpost.
Every time. Okay. Yeah, because what happens is when, you're trying to get your whole property on the market and you have to order your sign, and that signpost goes up, but you don't have pictures yet, And so the photographer comes out and they're not removing the sign. They're just, so they're taking their pictures, and all of a sudden you've got a post sitting in your beautiful picture of the front of the house. And so what do you do? And honestly, I go to Canva, and Canva is using AI to get rid of this stuff. I upload it to Canva, and there's a tool where you go over what you want erased, and you go over it, and boom, it's like gone.
Oh, so you did this yourself. It wasn't even the photo company.
No, it wasn't the photo company. Nice. I did this after the fact myself, because I was like, I'm not posting a photo with this in the photo. Okay. So I got rid of that. And every time there's a post in a signpost in any of my pictures, I'm taking it out. And I had multiple angles of this. Not only that, multiple angles daylight and multiple angles nighttime vision. Not this first one, but the second one.
So let's look at the second one, because you might have gotten a little trigger happy on the second one.
Yeah, this one I got a little trigger happy. And
what happened?
This is one photo out of And I could show you, if you go to the listing, you'll see 7 different front photos, day and night, where I took out the signpost, and others I took out. There was one wide angle, and I wanted to use this one wide angle, but what I did was I zoomed in a little bit from the wide angle because I didn't want it that wide, right? But there were 2 garbage cans in the way, all right? But those garbage cans were leaning against a sign. A parking sign.
A parking sign.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the parking sign was kind of in the way too.
A permanent fixture.
That's a permanent thing. It sits there,
sign.
right?
Yeah.
So I took the garbage cans out, but in doing that tool, I went and I erased that sign. So that could be something where people are like, well, dude, that sign's there. Like, you shouldn't have done that. And in hindsight, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But it was just like, hey, all right, I'm going to do it, whatever. But this is where you can start going too far. And we've seen so many things where, Matt, what's also in front of that house?
There is a very large tree. So the photo's off-centered. If you're watching on YouTube, it's off-centered because if you just showed it straight on, you're just looking at a tree, big old oak tree.
And I have the straight on picture, and you can look in the listing, and it's there, and I did not remove the tree. But there are so many instances that we're seeing that people are removing freaking trees. Like, you can't remove a tree just to make your house look better, right? Go in and take a different angle if you have to. But removing a tree or doing anything that is not representing the property to its true value is wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be doing it.
I mean, once you start removing like permanent, immovable objects, the sign, I don't think anyone's going to be upset about it. In fact, I don't know if many people will notice.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to do it again. Right? I think you like kind of like, all right, yeah, it's probably not great.
Garbage cans, 100% gone.
Did you remove the car or did you just zoom in? There's a car parked on the street.
I zoomed in on that one. You see how I zoomed in a little bit?
Now
right?
you can see the car's license plate. Where do you stand on? Some people get all up in arms. Don't care.
No. Okay. Who cares about license plates? I mean, if it's my clients and it's in their parking spot or in their driveway, or it's not going to be in their driveway. If it's a condo and it's in their parking spot, then I'll gray it out. But like in public, I don't know why people get up in arms about that. I mean, like,
I think it's like if you had a custom license plate, maybe someone could figure out like where you lived, like if it's like a stalker situation, or they could look up your parking tickets, on DC's parking app or whatever. Those are the only two because I'm on the team of who cares it's a license plate, but maybe people do care. So I'm trying to draw the line of where AI images and video are okay and where they're not okay. Obviously, I think we both agreed that removing permanent things that are there at the house, around the house, outside the house, probably not okay. What about, let's go inside the house. Pretty much every photo is now, heavily photoshopped. Hopefully it's a realistic representation. We've touched on virtual staging many times, so we don't really need to go into it. I think the best case for virtual staging is if you have an empty house, there is like a placard of the virtual staging in the actual house. So you can hold up, the picture and like look and say, oh, there's a couch. Like I could imagine a couch there, as opposed to it being on your app, like being on the phone and then you walk in and it's empty. I think that's really the only acceptable virtual staging. Where do you stand on that? Do you I agree or disagree?
I hate virtual staging. Number one thing I'll say about this is virtual staging has been around a long time. You used to have to pay a company to actually put the furniture in there and the shadows and everything. And it also always looks stupid in my opinion. But now you can just go to the prompt in AI and just say, hey, add furniture to this. And it'll do a pretty damn good job. But it's not a true representation. And that's the thing is, my thing is I want somebody to walk through that property and get the same great feeling that they do from the pictures. And if you're seeing a picture of AI, furniture in a property, and then you walk in and it's stale, cold, and empty, that's how you're going to feel, stale, cold, and empty. So I will not do virtual staging.
So those are virtual photos, Shawn, but there's a new company called AutoReel app, which can create stunning property videos instantly with AI, create videos 100 times faster, thanks to maybe the Ashburn server farmers, from just photos. Join top real estate media professionals and agents, Shawn. So, the concept is pretty straightforward. It is what it sounds like. You upload photos, they turn it into a video. So, I think we've all seen by now, like maybe a photo of like a 1930s celebrity, and then it's like it has turned into a video, and then the celebrity's like laughing and like high-fiving someone. Same sort of concept. You upload a picture of the living room, and now there's like a zoom in, a sweep, kind of a panoramic of the living room. The photos on here are actually kind of cool. I think what I'll do is I will start for free and upload 2 photos of my listing to test it out, because apparently what agents are obviously doing are, going to social media, putting these videos as like a video walkthrough tour, because, we would pay like $1,000 for a video walkthrough tour, and now you can do it for pennies on the dollar. But it does, cause some issues with what is a realistic representation. So, Shawn, what are your thoughts on the AI videos?
If you're taking the actual photos of the property that are not enhanced by AI, and it's the true representation of what the property looks like, and then you say, hey, can you create a video from these things without adding anything crazy, I think that's a good tool. I mean, I would use that if I didn't already do my own property videos, but I think this is good for some people. If it gives you a good representation and it's a nice looking video, then why not use it? Where I have a problem with it is anything beyond that. If you're, misconstruing what the actual interior looks like, hey, add this wall, or, add this staircase to this area and stuff like that, then no dice. And the thing is, what I don't understand is why people just don't put in the effort, the human effort, right? I mean, I do a walkthrough video on everything that I ever list. It's not hard. I have a gimbal, I put my phone on it, and I walk through, and then I do a little, introduction. It takes not very long, and I have an editor that edits it. But I think that, that walkthrough, in my opinion, is better than having AI do it from photos. But I could be wrong. Show me a good video from this, and maybe I'll start using that. But, I think it's what you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable with doing a video walkthrough yourself, or hiring a company for $500 to do it, great, do it. If you want, to upload your pictures and use AI that is a true representation, cool, do it. I mean, that's the great thing about AI. There's so many different options now that we're learning about.
Yeah, and I'm trying to see what will connect with audiences, because I think I'm trying to think the best AI videos are they videos where people know that they're AI, like intentionally, or are they kind of blurring the lines between reality? Because if I'm watching a video and I know it's AI, I might start to be like, I don't really want to support this.
Yeah.
When I'm reading articles, if there's like a blog post and it's starting to feel like AI generated SEO garbage, like, this is a human didn't write this. I don't want to support, a company like this. And so I'm not really sold on this company. I'm not really sold on the concept. And I have a hard time coming to grips with showcasing an AI video of my listing. Now, there is one exception where I think this could be a very good tool. Shawn, do you know what type of property that would be?
Probably something that needs renovated and show renderings.
Possibly. What I'm thinking about is new construction. Okay. So new construction, it hasn't been built yet. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you can have any sort of representation of how the property is. Mm-hmm. When it's just dirt, when it's just studs, when it's just, pre-drywall, yeah, show me what the end product is going to look like. Yeah. Have crazy AI drone footage. And Shawn, I love like new construction homes in Arlington when they have the one exterior photo of the rendering. What do you see on the sides? You see nothing. Mm-hmm. It looks like the Arlington Waycroft, home is in a forest, with no house. Yeah. And then when you see it in person, there's like, there's 2 houses that are right next to it.
Yeah.
So, there's obviously more liberties that you can take when everything is a rendering and you can't actually touch and feel and walk through it. I think that could be a good opportunity. But I'm going to go on the record and say I'm probably not going to be doing AI video walkthrough tours, realistic tours like this for my listings.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't either. I think where it also could be good, if you have one of these dog of a listing that they just didn't want to do anything, hey, sell it as is, and you want to show what it could look like, you could do that and say, all right, this is what you could have if you put X amount of dollars into it. I mean, that could help people make that decision to say, all right, well, listen, I could make it look like this. That's amazing. Because a lot of buyers don't have the vision, but be careful on that. Maybe have it as a tool on the side to say in an open house, well, here's what AI did for you. You know what I mean? Instead of putting it out there, like, be honest about it. Because once you show anything that is fake on the MLS and people walk through, they're gonna be like, who is this agent? Well, this is crap, and that's what you don't want. It's be realistic about it, have the comfort. I think I was saying I sold 28 listings so far this year. Of those listings, how many did I virtually stage? 0. How many did I stage because they were empty? most of them. I mean, out of 28, I would say I staged 18 or 19 of them in some way or another. The other ones had furniture in them, and we would just rearrange and make them look good for the homeowner. But the majority are going to be staged, and and if it's empty, it's staged. It's not empty.
Right.
And it's not virtually staged. That's crap. So I think that's important that people understand that it's not just the pictures. It's great to have great pictures, but it's the feeling you walk into, and that's what you want to have people feel is great when they walk in.
Yeah, people get distracted by the shiny objects. I mean, if we were all buying and selling houses over our phones and never walking into properties, sure, let's go crazy with this. But the reality is that people buy from other people, and then people buy based on emotions, and then they reason it with logic after the fact, which is why you need to have that warm and fuzzies that Shawn is talking about.
Yeah, and of those 28 listings, how many did I help AI generate my write-up? 28. And how many did I do something AI generated with photo? 2. And that was with signs that were in the way of the actual front of the house.
One other note, you said, like, if it's a dog of a listing, like, hey, maybe show what it could be. I kind of see it the other way. I kind of like leaning into what it is, and it's reminding me of this property tour that an agent did in California, Texas. The house was essentially like a drug house, right? It was like a you-know-what house, a you-know-what den, if you will. Mm-hmm. They had the drone video. They had the swoops. They had
the junk.
And everyone, like the tires and the woman presenting is like wearing a tight dress and high heels. Like you would have thought it was selling Sunset, but it was a $300,000
selling garbage
drug den. And it went viral.
I think that's
because the people were like, did she really get a drone footage for this, POS?
Heck yeah. Look how much attention it got. Look, I mean, that's the thing is it's attention, but it's attention in the right way. It's a true representation of the property, but she went over and above marketing it. And that's the great thing about it. That's what I love. I love true marketing. I think we're both marketing people. That's real estate is marketing for us. And finding the true ways of doing it, like Matt did. Matt did a video years ago. We used to do heavy listing videos, and they're on this YouTube channel way back years ago, 5-10 years ago. Matt did this amazing video of like this property that was 1980s inside, and he was riding roller skates. He had a headband on, and he was talking about faxes and everything else. And it was so good. It was so well done. And it was just a true representation of what it felt like in the 80s, what we were doing back then, and what that property was. And we're trying to sell it now. And you sold it.
AI could never do that.
AI could never do that. The true human form, the acting, the idea, that's what I love about real estate is creating things that get your juices flowing. And that's where I think some people get lost. And you'll see it in these big teams where they're just about the dollar, or, they don't care about what their product is. It's, dollar driven. I'm not dollar driven. I'm creative driven. I want my properties to look great. I want my clients to be happy. And I think that's the true representation of what real estate agents should be is, doing a good job and being true about what is out there. And in the end, getting great reviews, Do
you think we're going to start seeing more violations on the MLS? Like I showed you this house in Detroit. I mean, it's obviously an AI generated exterior image. And then when you see the actual house, it's a piece of work.
Yeah.
I
hope they get violations for that, because it's getting out of hand, and I don't want that to take over, because the more and more it happens, the more and more we're going to get mad as real estate agents driving to these properties, taking our buyers, taking our time to get there, and you're like, what is this? Yeah. It's not even the same property. So you have to be careful on that. And I will say something right now that I believe that, like you were talking about before, all these AI videos. I was watching something this morning, and there was a house on the beach that was being carried by all these people and lawnmowers pulling it. And I'm like, okay, AI video. Like, it's funny to see it, but I think it's going to get old very quickly, and people are just going to flip right through them and beyond them, right? I think as we start learning, all right, AI trick, it's going to get old. And I think there has to be creative ways to use AI, not, hey, create this video and make it stupid, and people are going to be like, oh,
Yeah, people are going to get numb to it real quick, which is why, authenticity always wins.
Yes. 100%.
All right, well, let us know your thoughts on AI and real estate in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already. And for Shawn and myself, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, we'll see you then.
Take care.